Please be seated. Welcome, everyone. I'm Bob Golden, Dean of the School of Medicine and Public Health. Let's give a hand to the wonderful brass band with us today. I want to thank everyone for joining us for this joyful celebration of the MD class of 2022. It is so wonderful to be together in person here in Shannon Hall. I also want to welcome those tuning in to our virtual live stream from across the globe. Closed captioning is available on the live stream, and assisted listening devices are available from an usher. My excitement about returning to Shannon Hall is second only to the excitement and joy in celebrating the graduation of this remarkable, talented, and resilient group of medical students. I have been inspired by your capacity to embrace new challenges and to quickly incorporate new ways of thinking, acting, learning, and caring for your patients and for each other. Your eagerness to learn and grow will serve you well as you transition into the next vitally important stage of your professional development. I am joined this morning by administrative leaders, faculty, and the chairs and representatives of the school's departments. Will members of the platform party please stand when I call your name and remain standing? Please hold your applause until everyone has been recognized. In the first row, Dr. Guinevere McIntosh, Associate Dean for Students, Dr. Robert Corliss, Professor of Pathology and Laboratory Medicine and serving as one of today's faculty hooders, Dr. Elise Davis, Anatomy Teaching Faculty, serving as one of today's faculty hooders, Dr. Christine Seibert, Associate Dean for Medical Student Education and Services, serving as our oath reader today. Dr. Carol Diamond, Associate Professor of Pediatrics, serving as today's faculty speaker. Dr. Kyla Lee, President-elect of our Wisconsin Medical Alumni Association. Dr. Jason Stevenson, Associate Dean for Multicultural Affairs for Health Professions Learners. Dr. Shobina Cheda, Associate Dean for Medical Education. Now in the second row, Dr. Matthew Jansen, Associate Dean for the Marshfield Clinic Health System, our Northern Academic Campus. Dr. Kirsty Knox, Director of our Training in Urban Medicine and Public Health Program. Dr. Anjan Audia, Senior Associate Dean for Basic Research, Biotechnology, and Graduate Studies. Dr. Jonathan Temte, Associate Dean for Public Health and Community Engagement. Dr. Peter Newcomer, Senior Associate Dean for Clinical Affairs. Dr. Joseph Holt, Director of our Wisconsin Academy for Rural Medicine. Dr. Mary McSweeney, Associate Dean for Admissions. Dr. Elizabeth Petty, Senior Associate Dean for Academic Affairs. And in the third row, Dr. Christopher Schroeder, representing the Department of Anesthesiology. Dr. Patricia Kiley, Chair of our Department of Biomolecular Chemistry. Dr. Michael Newton, Chair of the Department of Biostatistics and Medical Informatics. Dr. Deneen Wellick, Chair of the Department of Cell and Regenerative Biology. Dr. Nihal Ahmad, representing our Department of Dermatology. Dr. Azita Hamadani, Chair of the Burby Walsh Department of Emergency Medicine. Dr. Mark Beamsley, representing the Department of Family Medicine and Community Health. Dr. Paul Harari, Chair of the Department of Human Oncology. Dr. Francesco Pellegri, Chair of the Department of Medical Genetics. Dr. Susan Lederer, Chair of the Department of Medical History and Bioethics. Dr. Joe Dillard, Interim Chair of the Department of Medical Microbiology and Immunology. Dr. Betsy Trowbridge, representing the Department of Medicine. And in our fourth row, Dr. Robert Dempsey, Chair of the Department of Neurological Surgery. Dr. Kathleen Shannon, Chair of the Department of Neurology. Dr. Eric Dent, Interim Chair of the Department of Neuroscience. Dr. Lisa Barrelet, Interim Chair of the Department of Obstetrics and Gynecology. Dr. Paul Lambert, Chair of the Department of Oncology. Dr. Terry Young, Chair of the Department of Ophthalmology and Visual Sciences. Dr. Thomas Zdeblik, Chair of the Department of Orthopedics and Rehabilitation. Dr. David Yang, Interim Chair of the Department of Pathology and Laboratory Medicine. Dr. Ellen Wald, Chair of the Department of Pediatrics. Dr. Maureen Durkin, Chair of the Department of Population Health Sciences. Dr. Art Walasek, representing the Department of Psychiatry. Dr. Thomas Grist, Chair of the Department of Radiology. Dr. Rebecca Sippel, representing the Department of Surgery. Dr. Reginald Bruskowitz, representing the Department of Urology. This is a true dream team of incredibly dedicated academic leaders and teachers who work tirelessly to provide our students the opportunity to achieve their full potential during their time with us. Please join me in recognizing these distinguished leaders. I love this event. Together with the white coat ceremony, it forms the bookends of our academic year. But more importantly, it provides a wonderful sense of hope and excitement as we celebrate the graduation of the next generation of physicians. It also, quite frankly, brings back a rich flood of memories from my own medical school graduation. Things have changed tremendously. Now, I know what the students are thinking, but no, I did not arrive at my graduation in a horse-drawn buggy. It was actually a Ford Model T. But the concept of a smartphone or an electronic health record or minimally invasive surgery or even outpatient cancer chemotherapy was unimaginable. And my dean, as far as I can recall, shared a graduation thought, which I have come to realize is simply inaccurate. Yes, deans, of course, as you know, are quite fallible. I was told, quote, "You will now go on to your residencies where you will complete your medical education." Here's the good news. Your medical education will never end, although thankfully your tuition bills will. Throughout your career, you will be blessed with the opportunity, indeed the imperative, of lifelong learning. And you will increasingly assume the role of teacher, with your patients and their families, of course, but with so many others. As residents, you will be able to teach and inspire one of the greatest groups of learners, medical students. And as you continue your professional development, please embrace the responsibility and opportunity to teach your neighbors, your communities, your elected officials. And in doing so, remember that science is agnostic and apolitical. I deeply admire your resilience in moving forward into your core clinical experiences just as the worst global pandemic in a century was exploding. What lessons did we learn from the horrible, brutal teacher known as COVID-19? Well, COVID-19 taught us in the most powerful way the importance of integrating medicine and public health. We need to learn about and apply public health measures such as masking, hand washing, and social distancing, just as we do with antiviral medications and monoclonal antibodies. We also learned that our long-standing societal investments in medical research and healthcare delivery produced life-saving returns. We should be amazed and grateful for the speed at which safe and effective vaccines were developed. And we learned about and experienced the devastating impact of our long-standing underinvestment in public health. The best vaccine cannot be effective if it's not administered. Lack of public health infrastructure has been the Achilles heel in our response to the pandemic, and the lack of effective communication strategies set the stage for disruptive and damaging political impacts fueled by misinformation campaigns that spread as effectively as the virus. COVID-19 also focused a glaring spotlight on health disparities and inequities. The underlying injustices and structural racism in so many institutions led to disproportionate suffering and deaths in our most vulnerable populations and communities. We must learn from this lesson, but more importantly, we must take action. We also learned that when it comes to health, the global village has no borders or boundaries. Microbes don't need passports. Climate change does not care about the arbitrary lines that we draw on our maps. Finally, COVID-19 taught us that three of the most important activities of a truly effective physician are communication, communication, and communication. We must communicate effectively with our patients. We must communicate effectively with each other, openly sharing our data and our experiences. And we must communicate with the general public respectfully, patiently, and persistently, dispelling myths and falsehoods with scientific facts and clinical evidence. All of our communications should be transparent, acknowledging those instances where we do not have the data to provide evidence-based answers. On this special day, as we reflect on our collective COVID past and present, we should also embrace and celebrate your exciting future. What remarkable new opportunities will come your way in the next several decades? How will the accelerating pace of discovery in science and technology create new opportunities for preventing and treating diseases? Will we find ways to create just and equitable access to healthcare for everyone? Well, predicting the future is risky business. In 1962, an executive at Decca Records declined to offer a contract to a young band called the Beatles, predicting, quote, "Guitar music is on the way out, and anyway, I just don't like the way they sound." Closer to the fields of medicine and public health, Dr. Wilhelm Huber, the first director of the Environmental Cancer section of the National Cancer Institute, predicted in 1954, quote, "If excessive smoking actually plays a role in the production of lung cancer, it will be found to be a very minor one." So with some trepidation, I want to share with you, as a kind of graduation present, my predictions about your futures. First, you will find that you are incredibly well prepared for your residency training and for your subsequent careers. I also predict that the lessons you have learned here will serve as a strong and stable foundation for the construction of a life of service and professional growth. You have learned how to learn in a way that will allow you to sift and winnow from the ever-expanding harvest of new scientific data the best approaches for the personalized care of each patient. Finally, I predict with confidence that you will blend humanism and empathy into every clinical encounter in a way that addresses the needs of the person who is your patient. So congratulations, class of 2022. You have learned and achieved so much during your time here, and I know the best is yet to come. I am excited and honored to introduce our keynote faculty speaker, Dr. Carol Diamond, selected by today's graduates. She is an associate professor in the Department of Pediatrics and an important leader in medical student education. Dr. Diamond earned her undergraduate degree from the University of California, Santa Cruz with honors in English literature and biology, and then attended medical school at the Chicago Medical School of Rosalind Franklin University. She completed a residency in pediatrics and a fellowship in pediatric hematology and oncology at the University of California, San Francisco. After a period at Kaiser Permanente, we were most fortunate to have her join our faculty in 1999. Dr. Diamond plays a vital role in educating our medical students. She teaches during the first phase of our curriculum, oversees students on rotations, and has served as an academic and career advising house mentor for 11 years. She has shared with me how much she enjoys seeing the incredible growth of medical students from the time when they matriculate to today when they walk across the stage. Dr. Diamond's dedication as a teacher is clearly appreciated by our students. They have elected her to the Alpha Omega Alpha Honor Society and the Gold Humanism Honor Society, and she received the most prestigious Leonard Toe Humanism in Medicine Award. I want to personally thank Carol for all of her contributions to our academic and clinical missions. Congratulations to the class of 2022 for your wisdom in selecting her to provide your last faculty lecture that you'll receive here. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Carol Diamond to the podium.
Thank you very much. Good morning, graduates, families, friends, and colleagues. Thank you for the honor and privilege of being here with you today. Many of you have entered a patient room with me, and I introduced you as the student doctor. Now that's over. You're moved up a notch, a big notch. Congratulations. Like the lectures you've attended, or not, in medical school, I must begin with a couple of disclosures. I'm not really sure why I agreed to do this, but I like you, and so I said sure. But I will also not address the terrifying state of the world as I think we all know it and feel it profoundly. So I asked myself, what do you want to hear? Or should I tell you what I want you to hear? Should I aim to inspire and reassure? I am sure that you don't want to hear me to tell you to wash your hands again and listen with attention. But anyway, like any physician, unsure of what to do next, I consulted a variety of people. Patients, parents of patients, nurses, physicians, interpreters, custodians, and graduating medical students on what they want you to hear. I worried I wouldn't get any responses, but it turns out that you mean a whole lot to this world, and everyone responded. So many that I couldn't fit their comments into my 6-minute time allowance. And I feel kind of guilty about that. I can't share them all, because I can tell people gave it a good bit of thought. I think that all felt privileged to have you hear from them. I realized after collecting these words once again how lucky I have been to have such rich and wonderful relationships with all these people. And you can look forward to these relationships too as you move forward. What follows are words from a select few. From a former patient. Trust has to be mutual. It's required of patients for them to feel confident in the treatment and recovery plans doctors put forward. And equally as important and probably more elusive, the patient must feel trusted by the doctor medical team. Put simply, trust is a two-way street. You can't expect someone to trust you if it's clear they don't value and trust you in return. That's really how I felt throughout my treatment, always respected, valued, and trusted. And I feel like I may just be stating the obvious here, but this is what comes to mind when I think about what I want new doctors to know. Really, to me, it's just about being human and recognizing that what may seem like simple conversations or inconsequential moments can actually have a lifelong impact on a patient. From an old friend who's a practicing cardiovascular anesthesiologist, always treat your patient and their family as you would want to be treated. Listen up, look them in the eye, and convey to them that you care about them as a person, not just a case or a procedure or an admission. The golden rule seems obvious, but during your internship and residency and early career years, you will be pulled in many directions at once. And you will realize that 24 hours a day isn't nearly enough time to do everything you want or need to do. But if you hold tight to that golden rule, you'll have a foundation on which you will be proud to build your life in medicine. And I will look forward to having you as my doctor. And from our own Dr. Sam Lubner, graduation days are a lot like the gift-giving scene in The Wizard of Oz. For you guys, you already had brains coming into the place. In the last 4 years, you've shown that you have courage and you have heart. Doctors have the unique responsibility to share our brains and our courage with the world, but don't forget to use your heart. From a general pediatrician and my closest friend from residency, Carol, I've been thinking long and hard about what advice I wish I had known as a graduating medical school. I realize how much wisdom we both accumulated after practicing for so long. I think much of it boils down to human basic kindness. To be able to make a connection with patients, parents, and families by listening, trying to change places with them, to understand what they may be saying or feeling makes the challenges ahead real and more fulfilling. And while each encounter to solve a new problem may seem daunting, it's a rare privilege to be in our position. Managing in the face of overwhelming stress requires a lot of intention. I find that a small ritual prior to each encounter helps me stay grounded. While I wash my hands, I briefly close my eyes and I take a deep breath. It's calming and reassuring and does something to shut out all the other noise that has been happening before entering that next room. I sure wish I'd known that in the earlier days. And from a patient's parent, first and foremost, you are heroes. Much like any hero's story, you will have days when you wonder if your efforts make any difference whatsoever. I can only imagine the days ahead of you full of study, confusion, hope, disappointment, bureaucracy, creativity, loss, and joy. But please always keep somewhere in the back of your mind that what you do each day, perhaps most especially on your most tedious days, makes all the earth-shattering difference in the world to parents like me. You are the one that looks into my eyes and a hint of hope in this hopeless situation. You are the one that compassionately tell me that even though you can't promise everything will be all right, we will do everything in our power to fight for the life of your child. You are the one that quietly listen to us rail at the sky or at you and patiently listen to us wonder about the possible efficacy of the latest Facebook post we saw involving a concoction of pomegranate, shark urine, and carrot shavings. Please note, at the time, we're not trying to undercut your professionalism or doubting your brilliance. We are simply scared out of our minds and grasping at straws in our desperation to give our children another day of life. What you'll do each day is a heavy lift and a huge ask. Despite the struggles in your own lives, you calm us down, you triage our terror, and you point the way forward. We see you, we love you, we are grateful for you. heroes of the highest order. So I predict that we did not make you feel like heroes over the last 4 years, and that was not our intention either. But so, like anybody who knows me, says I can't get out without one word of my own. This is my turn. So now it's my turn, and I'm going to challenge you. With the incredible breakthroughs in research and technology, artificial intelligence, deep learning, evidence-based care, coming to the diagnosis and knowing how to prevent or treat an illness should get easier. It may be less challenging in some ways. I think your challenge is going to be to focus on what matters. Look someone in the eye, develop a relationship, give of your heart, and stay curious. Keep that curiosity and quest for learning. It's what got you here, and it'll keep you going, believe me. And even though the electronic medical record with its templates and smart phrases and deluge of data might keep you on track and organized, it also can obscure the story and suffocate curiosity. It not only can kill the human connection, but it can also hurt patients if too heavily relied upon. So trust but verify. It could save someone's life. You're not going to always feel appreciated or understood, and you're going to make mistakes. But when you might be feeling down and defeated, and you will, step back and reflect on what would happen to this patient if you had not listened, used your well-developed skill set, researched the literature, worried, and cared. And while you may feel the burden of responsibility, I hope you will never forget the privilege that goes hand in hand with that responsibility, and frankly, the power that does as well. And with this privilege and power, you can help stall or reverse some of society's ills in addition to your patients by advocating for science and research, advocating for your patients, engaging in hospital policies, and being an active citizen, and remembering the power and importance of your voice and your vote. So just please know how happy we are for you, proud of what you've accomplished, and excited for your future ahead. You have brains, courage, and hearts, and are heroes. Again, congratulations, and thanks to all of you in the audience who have loved and supported these outstanding new physicians.
Thank you, Dr. Diamond. Each year, the graduates select a classmate to speak on their behalf at this ceremony. The class of 2022 has chosen Benjamin Cannonberg. Ben grew up in Milwaukee and attended the University of Oklahoma, graduating summa cum laude with degrees in chemical biosciences and international studies. Here's a fun fact. While there, he and a friend set the world record for the longest marathon hug by embracing for 32 hours, 32 minutes, and 32 seconds. Question on everybody's mind, will that record be broken today after this ceremony, Ben? He returned to Wisconsin to attend medical school here with the intention of joining our training in urban medicine and public health program known as Triumph. This has allowed him to complete much of his clinical training in Milwaukee, giving back to his home community through his service learning. During his time with us, Ben led our student-run clinic that provides free mental health services to the Madison homeless population and performed public health research focused on telehealth at a federally qualified health center in Milwaukee. He was inducted into both the Gold Humanism Honor Society and the Alpha Omega Alpha Honor Society. We are delighted that he will begin his residency in psychiatry at the University of Texas Southwestern Medical Center in Dallas, Texas. Please join me in welcoming almost Dr. Ben Cannonberg.
Thank you for the second round of applause. Really appreciated that. I couldn't walk any faster. And thank you to Dean Golden for that kind introduction. Well, class of 2022, we finally made it. We are at the last of the great quintessential medical school moments, the last leg of that winding trail that began way back when we put on that shiny white coat for the very first time. It's a long path, one that includes many triumphs, like our very first successful patient encounter or our very last exam, and also many failures, including, in my case, once being so slow to answer a simple question that a patient beat me to it. Wait, a patient who was at the time, no joke, on the operating table, under anesthesia, during her own neurosurgery. And that journey ends now, as we put DR in front of our names, and MD at the end of our names. And if you're like me, hope desperately that none of those letters are called for on any flight that we take for the next couple years, or at least that there's another real doctor on board to help us out. But as I thought about what I wanted to say today, I thought about another quintessential moment in my medical school education. That moment took place in a tiny office tucked away in St. Luke's Hospital in Milwaukee as I gave a presentation to my attending psychiatrist. I had just interviewed my patient, following my phase 1 interview checklist to perfection. Dr. Mead would have been so proud. But my attending wasn't having it. This was back before COVID, back when we knew what people's mouths looked like under the mask. And so I had the privilege of watching her frown grow bigger and bigger and bigger as I more and more uncertainly pushed on. Finally, she mercifully held up a hand to stop me and asked the last question I expected. So what gives him hope for the future? I stammered a bit because on a scale from 1 to 10, where 10 was the most prepared I had been for that question, and 1 was the least prepared, I was at like -40. And her frown deepened even further. She cut me off again and asked another question, this one profound enough that I promptly forgot any other feedback she gave me that day. If we don't know what gives our patients hope, how can we hope to know our patients? As I stand on the precipice of my career, I've been thinking a lot about that question, and I encourage you to think about it today too. In service of knowing ourselves, what gives us hope for the future? I'll be the first to acknowledge that we've collectively been through a lot over the past couple years. We trekked to the HSLC during polar vortex and flood, came of age during a historic pandemic, fought off existential dread while studying for the last ever graded Step 1 exam, and perhaps most devastatingly, had to deal with 3 straight months of virtual lectures on the nightmare that was Blackboard Collaborate. And now we graduate into a field with more than its fair share of issues. Our healthcare system is plagued with endemic inequity, where we can perform marvels in our medical centers, 3D printing new organs and reprogramming T cells to fight cancer, all while type 1 diabetics continue to ration insulin, Black mothers continue to die in childbirth, and those with serious mental illness continue to live 15 years fewer than the general population. And to make matters worse, we are asked to do more and more with less and less time, leaving precious little for the advocacy efforts that might change things for the better, oftentimes seemingly in service of nothing more than making another dollar for an industry that already produces billions. And under that enormous load on our backs, I fear that it will be easy to let our hope simply drift away. I mean that not in the context of precipitous sudden despair, but rather in pernicious gradual acceptance. That one day we'll wake up simply too tired and burdened and worn down to worry too much about our uninsured patient without enough insulin. Because that's simply the way things are, and that's simply the way things will be, and besides, we've got another 10 patients to see before lunch. Emily Dickinson once wrote that hope is the thing with feathers that perches within the soul and sings the tune without the words and never stops at all. But if you're like me, even if that song is indeed constant inside us, it's been hard to hear at times over the past couple years, crowded out by chaotic melodies of fear and conflict and suffering. I can't stand up here today and tell you what to hope for, because that song resonates differently inside each of us. But I would like to tell you how I've found it again every time it's grown faint for me over the past couple years. What gives me hope for the future is this view that I have right now of the future of medicine laid out in front of me in this auditorium. And I mean that not in the trite sense, not just the idea that there's some unbridled potential inside all of us waiting to leap to the surface now that we have a medical degree. No, I mean it in the evidence-based sense, in the here and now sense of what I've observed over these past couple years. In the moments where I've felt most like giving in to cynical acceptance, in the moments where I've felt most worn down and tired, you are my greatest teachers. From you, I've learned compassion and empathy and patience. I've witnessed brilliance and grit and creativity. I've heightened my ideals of inclusivity and justice and advocacy, and I've discovered what it means to fight for a better future even when you can't yet imagine what that future might be. When that constant song grew faint, I found it by listening to you, to your passions, to your values, to the crusades that brought you to this career in the first place. And each time I did so, I found it more powerful and beautiful than it had been before, with richer harmonies and deeper nuance. I have come to appreciate that we are never more powerful than when we hope together. And so today, as we pass through this final quintessential moment and spread ourselves across the nation, I choose to believe that the relationships we build, including those built over the past 4 years, can not only persist but thrive, despite passing time and increasing distance. I choose to believe that even if some of our relationships must end, We will have been made irrevocably better by their presence, better able to make our way through this challenging existence and help others do the same. And I choose to believe that through these permanent marks we leave on each other, through physical manifestations of the values that drive us, through tiny moments of mindful defiance against the status quo, we can each create lasting, meaningful change in our own corners of the world. And these beliefs, consciously chosen, never easy, and nevertheless so worth it, that is what gives me hope for the future. When I think about that mindset and the resilience it requires, I think of what I've learned from the only teachers better than you all, our patients. Right after step one, at perhaps the height of my cynicism towards medical school and the healthcare system in general, I had the opportunity to sit in on group therapy sessions for those struggling with addiction. To this day, I remain awed by their determination, strength, and unabashed kindness, in direct contrast to a society that tells us that addiction is weakness. They reminded me that for all the uncertainty, for all the challenges, for all the brokenness that we deal with within healthcare, to practice medicine and to work with patients like these is an incredible privilege. These support groups very often contain the following words. They're usually said as a prayer, but today I'd like to present them to you as a parting wish. As we begin our vocations in this uncertain and challenging time, I wish us all the serenity to accept the things we cannot change, the courage to change the things we can, and the wisdom to know the difference. And though these words may sound simple, to implement them is truly a lifetime of work, but it is my deep and abiding hope that they ring true as we go forward. In closing, I want to thank the many people without whom I wouldn't be standing up here today. To my family, especially my parents, my brother, and my wife, Nicole, if I were to imagine the best support system I could possibly have, I could do no better than you all. Thank you deeply for everything that you've done for me. To my classmates, I encourage you to spend time today expressing gratitude to those around you as well. None of us are here alone, and everything we have and will achieve is a testament to the goodness and help of those around us. I also want to thank our administration, who worked through the pandemic to get us the clinical experiences we needed without undue risk. Without your hard work on our behalf, none of us would be in these seats today. I want to thank our professors, preceptors, mentors, and standardized patients for sharing their knowledge and expertise. I hope you weren't too offended earlier when I talked about my classmates and patients as my greatest teachers. You guys took a narrow bronze against tough competition, so keep your chins up. And finally, once more, I want to thank my classmates. It is my privilege and my honor to be your colleague, and I can't wait to watch you all change your corners of the world. Thank you again, and congratulations.
Thank you, Ben. Dr. Robert Corliss and Dr. Elise Davis have been selected by the class to participate in the investiture portion of the ceremony. They are deeply respected and indeed inspirational teachers and mentors. Will you please come forward? They will be performing the ceremonial hooding of each student as they cross the stage. Dr. Gwen McIntosh, our Associate Dean for Students, will read each student's name. Dr. McIntosh, will you please present the candidates for hooding?
Thank you, Dean Golden. Dean Golden and distinguished faculty, I present the following candidates for the conferral of the degree Doctor of Medicine. Abdullah Adel. Justin Angles. Joseph Wesley Archer. Daniel Arndorfer. Carmel Asa. Anthony Aziz. Kathy Bach. Julia Bast. Ingmar Baston. Claire Catherine Beamish. Matt Bilefus. Kevin James Biney. Josh Benson. Tom Barris. Lee Berman. Zachary Berner. Alexander Fox Blair. Joshua Troy Bodnar. Leanne Ming Bui. Max Butler. Taylor Caldwell. Nithin Charlie. Christy Chang. Jack Chovanek. Kristen Moira Clark. Alex Clegg. Sophia Colivas. Rebecca Colwell. Kevin Condit. Trevor Lynn Cooper. Lenka Kragova. David Cup. Do Dang. Veronica Daniel. Mitchell Depke. Julia DeSantis. Christine Dudley. Sean Dumini. Eric Ehlers. Dina El Gabri. Tyler Engel. Tom Enright. Cody J. Falls. Troy R. Farrell. Jacob Faltersack. Brody Fitzpatrick. Regina Louise Vitliano Gallagher. Matthew Goblersch. Colin Patrick Gable. Megan Goki. Alex Griffith. Sophia Hiley. Kevin Hash. Anna Siobhan Heffron. Jose Bien Rafaelo Ramos Hernandez. Alexis Hernandez Abrego. Rachel Heron. Nicholas Horswell. Young Hu. Andrew Huang. Alyssa Yoakum. Amir Kadri. Benjamin Cannonberg. Austin Kaiser. Megan Kenfield. Aaron Colrose. Vimal Swaroop Kanduri. Jackson Korger. Kirsten Cray. Adam Kraus. Samantha Page Colchin. John Kujka. Micah Larson. Nettie Marie Larson. Kate Lauer. Lena Law. Jonathan Lay. Michelle May Lee. Richard Hobum Lee. John Lee. Fun Jean Liu. Nancy Lee. Leanna Mack. Marilyn McGuinn. Elizabeth R. Maginot. Elian Masood. Rosina Milivolte. Daniel Montes. Sean Mortensen. Allison Michelle Miller. Aaron Mush. Hassan Nadim. Andrew Bo Luck Wynn. Tang An Win. Victoria No Kim. Jane Nora Ntambi. Andre Oboa. Scott Oderico. Victoria Ovsapayan. Ashley Piotr. Fuak Pham. Alexander Pieper. Samantha Prince. Yazid Kadada. Grant Quilling. Tonela Julie. Matthew Rabska. Shruti Rajan. Greg Raster. Olivia Camille Rader. Sydney Rausch. Alexis Ray. Luke Richard. Michael Rigby. Megan Radel. Ethan Rosen. Kimberly Rosenthal. Aaron Rotier. Paul Rowley. Clayton Rust. Kevin Rymett. Nicholas Schreider. Katie Schulz. Rudfi Bimal Shah. Emily Ray Sheveland. Sayog Singh. Paul Skelton. Mark Skilson. Dave Smith. Catherine Smith. Reed Smith. Gabe Sobchak. Gustava Sosa. Nicholas Spirk. Aniruddha Srivastav. Taylor Page Stewart. Elizabeth Steckel. Wendy Sun. Jacob Matthew Svensson. William Swain. Alexa Temi. Sophia Ulrich. Alyssa Valentine. Rachel Van Dorn. Ross Vitek. Nu Win Vu. Aaliyah Warden. Kelsey Wartgo. Lauren Watchmaker. Tyler Wire. Daniel Wilcoxon. Jeremy Williams. Athena Sinead Wilson. Jessica Witt. Erica Wood. Kahua Yang. Logan Yeager. Ben Zelmer. That concludes the reading of the graduate names. Congratulations, graduates. I return the program to Dean Golden.
Thank you, Drs. McIntosh, Corliss, and Davis. Now it's a pleasure to introduce Dr. Christine Seibert, our Associate Dean for Medical Student Education and Services, who will administer the Declaration of Geneva.
As we enter into this sacred covenant, I would like to remind you that the Declaration of Geneva is actually a modern version of the Hippocratic Oath. This declaration was developed by the World Medical Association in 1948. Following World War II, the Nuremberg trials revealed the widespread and horrendous misuse of medical power to conduct torture and mass murder. The Declaration has been updated to reflect the evolution of social norms. These principles continue to unite physicians throughout the world and remind us of our highest aspirations. The class will now take the Declaration of Geneva as their solemn oath. Graduates, doctors, find the oath on page 29 of your program, and please join me and stand. We will recite the oath together. At the time of being admitted as a member of the medical profession, I solemnly pledge to consecrate my life to the service of humanity. I will give to my teachers the respect and gratitude that is their due. I will practice my profession with conscience and dignity. The health of my patient will be my first consideration. I will respect the secrets that are confided in me even after the patient has died. I will maintain by all the means in my power the honor and the noble traditions of the medical profession. My colleagues will be my sisters and brothers. I will not permit considerations of age, disease or disability, creed, ethnic origin, gender, nationality, political affiliation, race, sexual orientation, social standing, or any other factor to intervene between my duty and my patient. I will maintain the utmost respect for human life. I will not use my medical knowledge to violate human rights and civil liberties, even under threat. I make these promises solemnly, freely, and upon my honor. Thank you, doctors. Congratulations. You may be seated. I now pass the program back to Dean Golden.
Thank you, Dr. Seibert. Traditionally, we invite an alumni leader to welcome you into the wonderful world of the Wisconsin Medical Alumni Association. It's a great personal pleasure to introduce Dr. Kyla Lee to share her reflections on this exciting day from her perspective as the president-elect of the WMAA Board of Directors. Dr. Lee?
Congratulations, doctors. I have seen your work as champions, healers, and advocates at the bedside. What an exciting day for the University of Wisconsin School of Medicine and Public Health, class of 2022. What did medical school in a pandemic ask of the class of 22? A lot. You were the inaugural class of the cumulative OSCE. Ugh. Is it a wonder this class has the highest psychiatry match rate? You mastered medicine and the virtual classrooms of Zoom and Blackboard. And of course, we also can't forget that you are the ranking trivia champions of Western Wisconsin. As you celebrate your tremendous accomplishments today with your families and loved ones, let me be the first to welcome you to another family, the Wisconsin Medical Alumni Association. The WMAA family smiled joyfully with you as you donned your white coats and received your first red stethoscopes, gifts donated by a physician who wanted you to feel welcomed and supported at the start of your medical path. And we also smiled at probably your first photo shoot with Bucky. Along the way, we, that is the WMAA, provided scholarships, supported student organizations, both the important interest groups and the needed advocacy groups, the wellness activities, Phase 1 dinners, and many other events. It is a great honor for me to be here today as you conclude this chapter. I know it's been a difficult one. Speaking as somebody who finished medical school 24 years ago, I can assure you it is a chapter you'll revisit time and again through your life. Every day, our staff at the WMAA and Student Services thinks about how they could serve you. So please, thank them today during the reception. Stop at the WMAA tables and introduce your family and friends. Speaking of gratitude, I would like to thank each of you who have contributed to your Class of 22 Scholarship Fund. You are already making a difference. Your gift to this fund will support future generations who follow in your footsteps, a true legacy to the Class of 2022. The WMA will be adding $2,022 to this scholarship fund, and your generosity inspired a faculty member to add $2,022 in your honor. Wow. As you move forward in your career, here are some easy ways to stay connected with us. Join the WMAA on Facebook and Instagram. Message us with your photos and updates. Read the quarterly magazine and share your news. Volunteer with our student alumni partnership programs. Host an event in your community for fellow alumni. Attend homecoming and reunions. Consider serving on the board of the WMAA down the road. And pay it forward. Donate a stethoscope to a first year. As you move forward in your career, you have the important choice to make a difference and reach back. To be the encouragement and the support you needed on those harder days. You will take this incredibly hard-earned education and change lives at the bedside, change lives through research, and change lives by serving vulnerable populations. You have an important role as an alumnus to remain connected to this great Badger School, where you can continue to enrich the SMPH community, host a student, and support the mission. On behalf of the Wisconsin Medical Alumni Association and all those who came before you, I offer my sincere congratulations and wish you the best on your upcoming journey. Welcome to our family and stay in touch. On Wisconsin!
Thank you, Dr. Lee. Well, we have come to the close of our ceremony. I want to thank all of you for sharing in this joyful celebration and our triumphant return to Shannon Hall. My deep thanks to all who worked hard to make today's ceremony possible. I invite everyone to join us for a reception co-sponsored by the Wisconsin Medical Alumni Association and the School of Medicine and Public Health. The reception will be held in both Great Hall on the 4th floor and Tripp Commons on the 2nd floor, right here at the Memorial Union. You and your families are invited to proceed to either the Great Hall or Tripp Commons. Please remain in your seats until the conclusion of the recessional. In addition to recognizing our #1 stars of the day, our new physicians, we would also like to acknowledge everyone who has helped them achieve their success. Parents and grandparents, spouses and siblings, other family members, teachers and friends. Will the class of 2022 please stand and face the audience? I now ask the class to recognize these people who have been so critical to your success. Thank you for all that you have done. Again, congratulations to the class of 2022. Best wishes for continued success, and on Wisconsin!